In this video I'll be reviewing another web service provider called Stablepoint. They're based in the UK, but unlike my last web host review, which was Guru, they don't actually own or run their own hardware. They actually use massive service providers that you've probably heard of, including Amazon AWS, Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure and several others. The big advantage of this is that you can host your sites in multiple locations. You know that you're hosting it on first-class hardware, and it allows you to scale. So if you get a big rush of visitors to your site, you can scale your hosting to another level. So you can always be sure that your site is up and running, you're on first-class hardware, you've got a great backbone to your online business or your blog or whatever it is you're doing. Now, as you can see on their site, they've got 144,000 websites hosted in 54 locations. That's very impressive. Now I'm going to be concentrating on the shared web hosting. So that's mostly for blogs or for e-commerce stores. I may come back and do another review of reseller, but for now I'll concentrate on the shared web hosting. So they've got an offer on right now. You get a first month for £1. And it renews at £3.99 a month, which is about $5. Okay, so I'll just show you their page here. So you get 24/7 technical support. You get a free domain name, free SSL, which is standard, free migrations in, which is not always standard, unlimited bandwidth, that's also not always standard, unlimited emails, same again, not always standard, one-click WordPress, pretty standard, Anycast DNS, not always standard, and twice daily backups. Sorry, I lost my voice there. A lot of hosts maybe give you once daily backups, but they're giving you twice, so that's a plus. Okay, so why choose Stablepoint? So you get a lot of web hosts that will be offer cloud hosting and so on, but they are true cloud providers because they use all the big services and it allows you to scale at ease and so on. Optimized for all the modern stacks, all the modern applications. Everything is fully managed by Stablepoint. We don't need to have the technical knowledge, because I've had VPSs in the past and they can be pretty fiddly to update, to maintain, to secure. So by paying Stablepoint, you're using the amazing hardware from all the providers, but they're doing all the hard work of update, security, managing and so on. And they even give you a money-back guarantee, no questions asked. And they've got a 99.95 uptime service level agreement, which is very good. At the moment they've got 80 plus global data center locations. So can I click on it? I can't. Okay, I can't. So in the UK they've got London, Cardiff, 2 locations serviced by 4 providers. DigitalOcean, Google Cloud, AWS and Microsoft. Let's see USA. West Coast USA, Google Cloud, DigitalOcean, Alibaba Cloud, which I've never used, and AWS, DigitalOcean, so on. Okay, let's see, for example, Australia, AWS, DigitalOcean, Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure. So you've got complete global coverage. So wherever your visitors are, you can host your website there. They also offer unlimited free migrations in, and they handle the whole process. Sorry, I'm losing my voice here for some reason. So if you move from other providers, they'll handle it all for you. Now the handy thing is, because they use Cpanel, if you've already got a Cpanel host, that process is pretty straightforward. But if you've got WordPress, it's even more easier for you to do it yourself. But again, with Cpanel, if you've got multiple hosts, email configuration and so on, they can handle it all for you and they can import it all. Quick turnaround, no disruption, and so on. You can speak to them by chat. I did read on their about page that they want all their staff to be technically literate. So you not just speak to salesmen, you speak to technical people. Okay, let's talk about their technology a little bit. So they are provider agnostic, so they deploy on top of public cloud providers, as I mentioned earlier, and they fully leverage their amazingly powerful networks into their own system, and they give us access to all of this for a very reasonable fee. They can deploy to practically any network provider with an API. Yep, that's fine. Okay, they can control entire service configurations in-house. They set everything up. I've heard about this Terraform, I'm not exactly sure what it is. I will do research on this. They do mention it quite a lot. I assume it's something to do with deployment. And also, this is what I talked about earlier, is the hardware. So you're always on the latest hardware, because I know with some hosts that I've been with, they don't really update the hardware that much, and they really pack in the users on the server a lot, and you do end up with very slow sites. So if you're on the latest hardware, everything's a little bit quicker. That's really good. 100% public cloud, so Amazon AWS, Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure, Alibaba Cloud, DigitalOcean, and Linode. $1 billion networks. If anything happens, there's no disruption. They can move your sites over. Fully managed live migrations. And also, they are carbon negative. They use renewable energy. They also offset 4 times as many carbon emissions as they would create. Very good. So the main thing is that if you try and host your website on Google Cloud, AWS, or Microsoft, or any of these hosts, it can be quite complicated to get everything installed, set up, maintained, and everything else. But what I like is that they offer hosting with Cpanel. I know Cpanel is not everyone's favourite, but it's been around for so long, and it's just so commonplace, and I think it is the benchmark. It can be a little bit resource intensive, but if managed correctly, I mean, there's no issues with it. I love using it. It's really handy, and I'm just used to it. So if their hosting is all Cpanel hosting, you get the full control panel. Plus you get the Softaculous auto installer. You get spam experts to sanitize your emails, mail channels for email delivery, Immunify 360 against malware and viruses. You get Cloudflare integration. You get to choose your PHP versions. I wouldn't use anything below 7.4, but some apps do need something really old like 5.6. WordPress command line interface, I don't really use that, but some people find that important. Jet backup is very good, and they give you twice daily offsite backup. Auto SSL and Cpad I don't use. Cloud Linux, so that's where the account is limited by resources, and it doesn't let you go over the resources, so other people can use a server without you abusing the whole server. So it helps everyone. Probably not the best explanation, but it allows you to manage limits. So it's probably not really necessary for shared hosting, but for reseller hosting, I know they offer access to the limits. So you can have small accounts with a very small limit so they don't abuse the server, and you can have larger accounts that can use a maximum. So it just helps people share the resources equally, or as per their package. So in the standard hosting, you get 1 to 2 gigabytes. We'll go into that in a second. You get 1 to 2 cores, unlimited file nodes, 30 entry processes, 102 for IOPS, and 10 megabits per second input output. You can see the web server configuration. They use Lightspeed, which is very popular. You also get access to Memcached and Redis. I don't really know about the other ones. You get security and so on. Okay, I think I've covered that. So let's go to look at the actual packages. Okay, so it's managed cloud hosting with Cpanel. Now you get a choice of a single site, a few sites, or multiple sites. With Freedom of Technologies, so you get a free domain name. I never really take them up on these offers, but you get a free domain name, unlimited free SSL, which is pretty much standard, free migrations. We've been through all this. We've been through technology, we've been through this section. Infinitely scalable, so you can upgrade and downgrade at any time. That's a big plus. You can start off small, and if you see your website's growing and visitors using our resources, but to keep it a pleasant experience for your visitors, you want to make sure you've got enough resources to make everything easy for everyone. So you can upgrade, and it's very scalable. It's very easy to do. Where's the actual plans? Okay, here we go. So the base plan is a starter, which works out £3.25 a month, or £39 paid annually. In dollars, let me go down to the bottom. So it's $4.23 and then $50.78 when paid annually. I'll go back to pounds, it's easier for me. Here we go. So the starter plan allows you to have one website, 100 gigabytes of disk space, which is more than enough. It's too much. I think I've got 50 websites running on a reseller account with Guru. I think I'm only using about 300 megabytes. 300 megabytes? No, sorry, I'm using 30 gigabytes. And I've had that hosting for about 4 years. Or maybe 3 years, so that's more than enough space. Unlimited bandwidth, that's fine. Unlimited email accounts, and you get 1 gig of virtual memory. Now the medium plan is one that I would probably go for. Not so much because of the 6 websites, because, well, you could do, but it's more because you get 2 gig of memory. So if you have a site with a lot of plugins, WordPress plugins, you want a good amount of memory with RAM, and I think they give you 2 virtual CPUs as well. So for a moderately busy site, I always recommend getting for a minimum of 2 gig of RAM and a 2 CPU. For WooCommerce maybe, or e-commerce site or Magento, that would be the minimum, but I would go for something even higher. But I've got a couple of e-commerce tools running on 2 gigabytes and 2 CPUs, so I know it's fine. In this package you get the same unlimited bandwidth emails but 2 gig of virtual memory. Now the top package is up to 15 websites and the same 2 gig of virtual memory. So this one is $7.49 a month, this one's $14.99, or annually it is $6.25 a month and $11.99, and that'll be $74.99 and $143.88. Okay, let's go through some of the more detailed specs. So this is fine. Now, actually, what I should say is a big plus. I like the way they've laid all of the specification out, because a lot of hosts, normally the hosts that manage their own hardware, they don't give you all of the details. But because these guys are using external providers, they give everything out openly, which is nice. So yeah, we've been through the CPU and the memory. Backups to daily. Domain alias is fine. Free SSL standard, free domain, uptime guarantees, 30-day money-back guarantee, free setup, free migrations. So platform features, so cloud servers. They're using all the leading cloud providers. Cloud storage, Lightspeed HTTP 3, fastest web server available with WordPress caching. Lightspeed PHP, and you get 10 location choices. They've all got Cpanel, they've all got Cloud Linux, they're all integrated with all these things. Let's see what else is different. So I was talking about Cloud Linux earlier and the limits, so it's LVE limits. So with the base plan you get 1 gig, the second one you get 2 gig, you get 2 gig, and most of it's the same. The input processors are all the same. Everything's very similar, it's just small little differences. Support, email and ticket 24/7, very handy. Live chat 24/7. I know they've got offices around the world, so they've got agents everywhere to help you. You get full domain management. You get email, which is nowadays a bonus because email management is quite difficult. You got secure webmail access, 10 gig mailbox size limit. So you can have unlimited mailboxes, but you get 10 gig limits. SMTP IMAP POP3, 50 megabyte attachment, email forwards, custom filtering, autoresponders. You get hourly send limit of 100, but if you are sending just normal emails and not doing spamming or bulk emailing, I think they do mention that you can request a review, but everybody recommends using something like Amazon SCS, SendGrid, or something else to send email because they're specialists. Spam protection, outbound spam filtering, and mail reputation protection. Okay, you get database access at PHP MyAdmin, SQL, and 1 gig database size. PHP 4.4 to 7.4. Surely it should be 8 by now. But anyway, 7.4 is what I use on all my WordPress sites. All of these features here. File manager is important. HD access, mod rewrite, so on. Okay. So they talk about at the bottom here, the personal hosting v business hosting. It's the same infrastructure, but instead of having dedicated resources, it's shared amongst multiple users. That's where Cloud Linux comes in to maintain multiple users on one server without one person hogging all the resources. So if you're running business websites, e-commerce, they recommend business hosting. So personal hosting is up to 2 gig per Cpanel account. Okay. It's fine. We know they do migrations. Okay, so let me see. Let's look at Manage WordPress. That's very popular nowadays. So that is quite a bit more expensive. So let's see, pay monthly. It's $24.99 a month. I've not actually looked at this package. This will be my first look. So what are their main features? Okay, you get a special control panel. It's a custom panel. I don't like using custom panels normally. It's always a pain when you have to move from one host to another. And they've been using custom panels. Although with WordPress it's easier to move sites. 99.9% SLA. No price increase guarantee. They didn't say it for the other service, so maybe it's only for these more premium services. Fully managed, so on. Create staging sites, remote access. I would like to look at that control panel actually to see what the difference is. Okay, this is what you want extreme performance. That's why you're paying a premium. It's completely optimized for WordPress, automatic CDN, industry leading orchestration, what a word. Security first, analytics, so on. Let's look at business hosting. Okay, so this is like a semi-dedicated or dedicated hosting. So the cheapest package is £99 a month. So this is pretty much a dedicated server. So you get 8 gig of dedicated RAM, 150 gig of SSD space, 4 dedicated Xeon CPUs, unlimited traffic, and so on. For your average WordPress user, this is overkill. This is for big businesses and e-commerce tools and so on. You can run 30 Cpanel accounts on each server. Okay, you can add more, but the cost and a small license fee. I know Cpanel did put their prices up 1.5 years, 2 years ago, which made it unfeasible for a lot of small hosts because it's too expensive. Instant support and so on. So 4 CPUs, 6 CPUs, 8 CPUs, 16 CPUs. I think this is outside the remit of what I'm looking at. I'm looking at WordPress hosting for regular users, not business hosting. But you do get very good packages here. Let's go back to okay, on their About Us, I did read this earlier. I used to have a website with TSO host. They weren't the greatest. I did cancel it after about a year. I've never heard of VidaHost or VidaHost. But yeah, this Stablehost was launched in 2018, I believe. Yeah, 2018. And this is their team. They've got offices in the UK, Gloucestershire, Indonesia and Bulgaria, so it allows them to have 24/7 support, and they do support their staff and so on. It's very good morals, you could say, but they're very open with all their company details. Okay, that's enough of that. I've been to technology. So what I will do, I'll sign up for an account. I'll sign up for the Medium account, and I'll take you through the process. So this is the one that I recommend for most users, because you can have 6 websites on there, but you get 2 gig virtual memory, and also you get 2 CPUs. Domain, I need to pick one to use. Let me grab one of my spare domains. I should buy a demo domain. Okay, let me just do first month. And a lot of my websites are hosted in the USA, so I'll just choose Dallas. But as you can see here, they've got London, UK, Dallas, Jakarta, Indonesia, Frankfurt, Germany, Amsterdam, Netherlands, Toronto, Canada. I've never hosted one there. New York, USA, San Francisco. Actually, I'll host in New York. San Francisco, Singapore, Bangalore, India, Mumbai, India, Sydney, and Tokyo. So you can choose your capacity. Okay, so you can customize the package once you enter the checkout area. So you can add 5 more, so make it 11 websites for £3 more per month. Or you can have 10 more for £5. It's generous. Add to order. Do you want to transfer it to Stablepoint? No. I would never ever transfer my domains to a host. Always keep everything separate. That's my advice. Okay. Okay, so that's the promotions. It's £1. Okay, let me set up an account and I'll come back to this. Okay, so this is the second stage of the purchase process. So you choose pay by PayPal, new card, or direct debit. You also do check and bank transfer. I haven't seen check for a long time. So let me just quickly pay for this. Okay, that's all paid for. They're just waiting to get confirmation from PayPal. I should get access to my service. It normally takes a few minutes, so let me see. Okay, it's active. So New York. That's my server and that's my details. Let me just check if the email came through. Okay, so I might have to blur some of these resources. Sorry, these labels. But they give you control panel's a bit basic, but I suppose what do you need? So you even get SSH access. Okay, let's start from the top. So let's go straight to Cpanel. Should be pretty standard. I might blur some of this. Okay, see physical memory usage, 2 gig there. It's very standard. Close this one. Close this. Okay, I can't see anything special here from. I suppose the jet backup is different. Everyone offers a jet backup. Billing and support, file manager, database access, domains, metrics, security, software, Sitepad, website builder. I've never used that before. Let's have a quick look at that. I always recommend using the WordPress manager. It makes updating and stuff a little bit easier. You get access to the Lightspeed web cache manager. Actually, something I've noticed, I remember when I signed up for Stablepoint a while ago, you used to be able to choose your host directly, and that would affect the price. But I think now they've done away with that. They're just offering locations and don't show you the host, which is interesting. Okay, a Sitepad I've not had before. It looks like a complete HTML site, and you can use a template to quickly get going, which is nice. Digital marketing, Foodland, interesting. Okay, so Softaculous, they've got all these regular apps. I've used WordPress, Joomla, OpenCart a while ago. Let's see what else they offer. Okay, Joomla. I did try Concrete CMS a while ago. Drupal I've used. A lot of these I've never heard of. That doesn't mean anything. Okay, let me take it back up. Let's see what else they. Open source databases blogging platform. Interesting. Simplicity and speed. That's what we like. Forums. Back in the day I used to use quite a few. PHP, BB, and I've forgotten the other ones I used to use. But now Facebook's taken over. Image galleries, wikis. Wikis are good if you have like to do tutorials and to do FAQ sections. So you can install a wiki on a subdomain, and yeah, it's a good way to present information. Social networking. I have no idea what any of this stuff is. Never used it. Ad management. I did use Revive Ad Server. It's very complicated and yeah, it's a bit fiddly to set up. Gaming. What on earth is this? Not been updated for 2 years. I don't know what the hell that is. I'll just quickly check one or two. Okay, mails. What's this? Standard. PHP list back in the day. 15 years ago I used to use PHP list. Postfix admin. Project management. Maybe I'll do a video on using some of these services and how to install them is simple. Click on it. But you don't always have to stick with WordPress to do websites. E-commerce is something important. OpenCart I've used. OS Commerce back in the day I used that a lot. I used Zencart, Magento. I moved away from Magento because it was very resource hungry and it was really complicated to maintain. So I switched. That's my switch to WordPress and WooCommerce. It was so much easier to set up, to maintain, and just very easy to work with. Magento was very, very technical. Lightcart, CubeCart I used. PrestaShop was very good. Let me see what else. A lot of new ones there. So I've never actually seen this many apps in with most hosting providers. They really do give you the full selection. customer support. That's very good. Frameworks. Educational. Podcast generator. Let's see what that is. Podcast publishing script written in PHP. That's interesting. Okay, let me just finish off video. Why would you want to host a video site? It's crazy. You've got YouTube hosted there. RSS. Own cloud. I did try this a while ago. Never really did much with it. Okay, there's a lot of apps here. Let's go back to the main control panel. There's nothing else here that I really need to go through. I could quickly start WordPress. I'm about 30 minutes ready. I'm not sure that process is very straightforward. Yeah, 5.8.2 is current. I'll leave the same. Admin, and that's the password. Just make a note of it. That's fine. That's fine. I will install this. Advanced. Some people don't like doing updates, but I do. Upgrade to any version. Automated backup, so on. And let's install. Now my domain won't work because I've not actually changed my DNS records. So if you log into your web host, if you go to your domain registrar, you normally have some some records to change. So for example, for this website, this demo website, I would change my, where's it gone, name servers to the name server specified by Stablepoint. Or if you're running it through Cloudflare, which I am, you can log into Cloudflare and just update the IPs as necessary. But I won't do that in this video. Let me go back here. Okay, so it's installed, but it won't be active because it's not been diverted. But anyway, I don't think there's much more for me to show you. I will need to blur some of this stuff, I think. Okay, email accounts. Set up your control panel to give you the mail server URL, alternate mail server, IMAP connections, POP connections, Outlook SMTP, the ports that you need, very important, billing, and so on. Is there anything else required in here? No. It's a very straightforward control panel, nothing special, no bells and whistles here. There's nothing else for me to show you here. I think that's about it. I think I'll probably end the review here. So I hope you found it useful at all. I probably will do an update video and just install a WordPress website, do all the domain settings, and I'll just speed test some sort of load review and just see how it goes. But I don't expect any issues because the resources allocated are very good, so it should be very good hosting. So if you find it useful, please subscribe, leave me a comment, let me know if you do sign up or if you know another host that is good. If you've got any issues, put them in the comments, and I'll see you next one. Thanks, bye.